Hello there, denizens of YouTube land. It's me, Ari, and just wanted to try something new in between working on Bento 5. It has been a while. Bento 5 is in the works. I'll talk about that and some updates around it later. But right now, I wanted to talk about some stuff on my mind, stuff relating to art, namely starting to make art in your 30s. And a big disclaimer, I didn't start making art in my 30s technically. I was drawing basically all my life, like as a little kid and stuff. But I never did any formal art classes that I can remember. A very self-taught animator and illustrator. And I was doing okay for a while. Like, you know, throughout my 20s, I was able to get work and I was keeping up with the peers around me. But, you know, I could definitely tell that there were some fundamentals that I was acting like I didn't need or that I was above, and that, you know, I was perfectly happy with the way I was drawing and, in hindsight, masking some insecurity. But by the time I got on to work on, I'll just say the show, it was Rick and Morty, I was surrounded by a bunch of super talented people, and also the quality of the work was huge. They expect a lot out of their artists. That's why it looks so good. And I had kind of realized that I had gotten by on tricks and was really lacking a lot of fundamental art skills. So I started to finally take a bunch of classes, now well into my 30s, and it felt like being a beginner again. But it was so hard because I had so much identity and ego surrounded in the idea of me being an artist and being good at drawing and a kick-ass animator. But I was now like having a really hard time with it. I was taking these art classes and like I wanted to throw my canvas across the room sometimes because I just couldn't get it. And as a side note, you know, I think a lot of people have this idea that, oh, like I'm starting too late. Like it's too late for me to do this thing. And I can say that, like, no, like having a fresh perspective to a new hobby, having like this total, you know, lack of a view of what it is or who you are actually makes that learning experience really fresh. I think it's easier to learn later in life a skill than when you're a kid because, you know, that's what happened with me. I have all these bad habits and misconceptions and idea of how good I should be at this right now. But, you know, here's sort of the flip side of things too. I've been learning other hobbies that I don't have identity surrounded in. Things like finger drumming or quad skating. Those are things that I never saw myself doing ever in my life. And I'm picking them up faster, I think. You know, as an adult, I'm much more disciplined and interested and can access the information I need to learn these skills. And, you know, with finger drumming, it's interesting because growing up, I played the bass guitar. My brother played drums, and that was the divide. Like in my mind, it was like, I play bass, my brother plays drums. I am not a drummer. I will never play drums. So the fact that I do any kind of drumming at all now is like, whoa, like this was never supposed to happen. This is heresy in a way. But it gets back to the idea that I didn't have any identity around how good at being a drummer I'm supposed to be. So anything I can pull off is just like, wow, this is awesome. Look, I'm doing a little rock beat. This is great. Whereas with drawing, I'm just like, how the fuck did you draw a circle? Jesus, I'm supposed to be amazing at drawing circles by this point. What is happening? So there's a lot to be said about ego and art. And so, nowadays I'm on a quest to not just get better at art, but I'm asking the question, how do I have fun drawing again? And how do I love drawing again? And this is not like a new topic on YouTube. In fact, yesterday I did a little bit of searching on this topic. And, when you click on one of those videos, YouTube will just serve you hundreds more. And that's like super overwhelming. And also interesting because a lot of the point of views are conflicting. Everyone is a guru and thinks that they've got the answer to this thing. So weird way of saying don't take my advice, take your own advice, because everyone's different. Maybe that's like the best thing I can tell you about this topic is don't listen to me or anyone else. Follow your fun. But there are a lot of recurring themes to this idea, namely, social media. I think the consistent narrative is I used to have fun drawing, and then there became a reward system from social media, the amount of likes and clicks and shareability I got. My art became content, and yeah, this is my story too. Like, I totally relate to that. I'm just saying it's been said, and I want to see if I can say anything new to this idea of, okay, well, how do we fix this? Like, how do we get back to having fun? So one idea I kind of want to visit is the idea of flow, which you may have heard of. It's also thought of as getting in the zone. There's that book about it by Mihaly, last name no one can say, but the idea is essentially pretty simple. A flow state is right in between when something is too easy and too hard, but like just right in the Goldilocks zone of like, yes, this is my sweet spot of challenge. So I certainly find myself doing that with my other newer hobbies, right? Like if I'm playing finger drumming or if I'm roller skating, I'm trying to find something that's like right at my level in that moment even of what is just like engaging enough. Sometimes I notice myself shooting too far into the difficult territory, and that's usually because like I want to get good at this and I want to get good at this now and fast, and you're probably doing that sometimes here and there is a good idea, but it's probably better to be in that state where it's like at your level. Not only I think for progression, but also to just continue doing it. If like keeping it fun is the way you keep coming back to it. And that's one thing I actually realized was happening with finger drumming. I kept doing the really hard beats and just staying like just trying to like learn these really complicated patterns. And I noticed myself not coming back to it as much. So then I switched over to the more just like jamming, just trying to have fun and flow. And wow, lo and behold, I'm doing it a lot more frequently. So, be good to yourself, I guess, is my advice there. Like, draw in ways that are fun. Draw things that you like to draw, not just things that you think you should draw. Maybe start that way. Just start with like some blobby little shapes or just some dumb little creatures that you like, and then move on to an exercise, and then go back, like switching back and forth between what's fun and what's pushing you. That's what I do with skating, I'm realizing now. I'll go in the middle of the rink, I'll do some like really technical footwork thing that I look kind of crappy doing at the moment because I'm working on it. And after like, I don't know, 15 minutes of that, then I'll just skate around the rink doing nothing hard, just flying, just having fun. So another aspect of this I think would be good to visit is questioning why it is one even wants to get better at art. And if you see the pattern I'm laying down, you might see how much I've brought up just my identity around drawing, how much I think it's important for me to be good at this thing. But that's me. Like, I think you should ask yourself, if this is of interest to you, why you want to be good at this. And you know, it might be rooted in some like childhood trauma, or trying to attract your preferred sex, and all that's fine and valid. But you know, I just check in with yourself and be real with yourself is my advice there. I definitely have a lot of like personally like validation issues, just really wanting to be seen and experienced. So I have a feeling that's probably a huge factor into why I draw. But there's other reasons too, like I like doing it. I remember watching my mom doing it and thinking like that was really cool. So ask yourself the question. So I think that's enough little breadcrumbs on that topic for now. I hope that helps. I hope it's interesting. So for the Bento Banana people, I've got actually a lot of news, but I just kind of want to pepper some in for now because otherwise this video will be too long. But it is going. We have somewhat of a crew going on right now. We are figuring things out. Pre-production's moving smoothly. For the first time in my life, I'm now working with a producer, so that's very exciting. Character designs are being done. I'm working with Blender for the first time to do a lot of 3D stuff. And honestly, learning Blender has been where some of the time has been sunk. But I feel like I'm actually pretty close now to learning all I need to know and building most of the assets I need. So we're getting there. More updates soon, I hope. And that about wraps it up for this. If you like what I'm doing, please consider checking out my Patreon, and of course, liking and subscribing. And if these ideas that I talked about were of interest, or if you hated them, let me know in the comments. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.